My younger sister asked me to have an abortion as a wedding gift because, in her words, it's her only big day in life, and I could always have another baby later. But she didn't understand why everyone, including her fiancé, was horrified when they heard it. My sister Lana has always been Lana. I honestly don't know how to describe her properly. You'd have to see, hear, and live with her to really get what I'm talking about. She's the youngest of 3 daughters, and since childhood was cherished like a princess. That's the perfect recipe for a true diva, someone born believing the world should revolve around her. When Lana cried as a kid, the whole family's plans had to change. If she wanted something, she'd find a way to get it, whether it was my birthday or our parents' anniversary. I didn't mind so much because I've always been independent. I did my thing. She did hers. Lana always loved grand gestures, over-the-top birthday parties, concept vacations, and lately live streams with tens of thousands of viewers. She's an influencer now, creating lifestyle and wedding content, so everything in her life gets broadcast on TikTok and Instagram with perfect filters. To Lana, life is a film, and of course, she's the star. Most of it is harmless, even fun sometimes. But there are moments she crosses the line, and this time, she went way too far. Last year, she got engaged to Kyle, a young doctor who's kind and well-liked by everyone. Their engagement party was at a Napa vineyard, classic Lana, twinkle lights, outdoor reception, imported flowers, and a film crew following her around to vlog for YouTube. I was 3 months pregnant at the time. My husband, Mark, and I had been carefully planning and were so happy to be expecting. We hadn't announced it publicly, just to family. Lana was one of the first I told. No reason to keep it secret, and if Mom found out I hadn't told Lana, it would have caused a fuss. I assumed she'd be happy for me. She smiled and said, "Congratulations," but it sounded insincere, you know. As the party buzzed on, Lana pulled me aside into a quiet corner to talk privately. And that's where everything started to unravel. She led me to the back of the vineyard where the film crew was taking a break. Nearby was the koi pond, lit in pink LED, one of her visual highlights for the engagement vlog. She started with her usual spiel about the wedding having to be absolutely perfect, that this was the most important moment of her life. For Lana, being live-streamed was more important than who she was marrying. I'm so used to Lana's self-centered monologues that at first I didn't pay much attention. She talked about the wedding dress, about how the guest skin tones have to match the pastel concept, and about the engagement video's engagement metrics on TikTok. I just stood there, nodding politely. Then, suddenly, she shifted the subject to my pregnancy. "I'm really happy for you, I am," Lana said, glancing at the camera waiting in the tent. "A baby is wonderful, but what if it takes the focus away from my wedding day?" I frowned, thinking I misheard. She continued, as if suggesting a cake flavor. "I mean, you can have a baby anytime, but I only have one wedding, and yours is happening around at the same time. I'm worried people will talk more about the baby than my dress." I stared at her, speechless. She lifted her chin and spoke slowly, as if recommending a menu item. "I just thought maybe you could postpone the pregnancy. I mean, you're young, you can have another child anytime, and I only get one wedding, at least as planned." It felt like a slap in the face. She was seriously asking me to get an abortion so I wouldn't ruin her visual frame on her sponsored live-streamed wedding? Lana smiled gently and added, "Think of it as a little wedding gift." In that moment, I realized I wasn't dealing with a childish little sister. I was facing a grown woman, utterly serious about asking her biological sister to give up an unborn child, just so she'd remain the uncontested star of her lavish, sponsored live stream wedding. I just patted her shoulder with a fake laugh. "That joke's a bit much." And I walked away. But in my heart, I knew she wasn't joking. In the following days, I couldn't stop thinking about that conversation. At first, I convinced myself Lana must have been tipsy, stressed from her wedding planner quitting, or exhausted from the glare of stage lights. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized something was wrong. She wasn't drunk. She knew exactly what she was saying. And worst of all, she believed she was being reasonable. Mark noticed I was tense and asked what was wrong. I hadn't planned to tell him, but eventually I did. He went silent, then whispered, "She's lost her mind." I've never seen Mark so angry, not even during heated arguments with his old boss or when our contractor messed up our kitchen. But this time, he stood, pacing in the living room, his hands balled into fists like he wanted to punch a wall. "Why didn't you tell me right then?" he asked, his voice trembling with anger. I only shrugged. Maybe I couldn't process it yet, or maybe I was afraid that saying it out loud would make it real. We decided to keep our distance from Lana for a while. I canceled the bridesmaid dress fitting she had scheduled and ignored texts from her assistant asking about soft maternity dress options for a pregnant guest. Lana never brought up her earlier request again, but kept dropping not-so-subtle hints via Instagram DMs. "You still haven't posted your pregnancy online, right? Maybe wait until after the wedding, just so I don't lose the spotlight? Or, if you want to wear something really loose to hide your belly, just say so. My stylist can help." She talked like she was doing me a favor, a generous gesture from a famous little sister. But it was clear what she really wanted, for me to stay quiet, hide my bump, and disappear from the camera's view. The more time passed, the more suffocated I felt. Lana wasn't just selfish. She treated people like props in her performance. Meanwhile, I was carrying a tiny life inside me, for the first time truly connected to something deeper than myself. And she only cared about views, sponsors, and not having her wedding photobombed by her sister's baby bump. I started wondering, if I kept quiet, how much further would she go? I tried to push it out of my head, really. Told myself I was overreacting. Maybe Lana was just overwhelmed with wedding stress and lost her grip for a moment. But every time I remembered that she seriously asked me to get an abortion just to keep her wedding on brand, a chill ran down my spine. Mark, on the other hand, couldn't hide his anger. He said, "If anyone else said that to you, I'd block them and never speak to them again." But this was my sister, the one I used to cradle as a baby, protect from bullies at school, stay up all night helping with her college presentations. And now she saw the child I was carrying as a fashion faux pas that needed to be cut from the shot. Less than a week later, things started to spiral, and not because of me, but because of Lana herself. She posted a light venting video to her Instagram story, vaguely referencing selfish family members, people who don't support others' careers, and those who think they're the center of the universe just because they're pregnant. I was stunned. She was actually going to post her side of the story online first? I hadn't told anyone in the family yet, but the video spread fast. One of my close friends, Sarah, who follows Lana out of curiosity, sent me the story and texted, "She's talking about you, right? This is getting out of hand." It was Sarah who anonymously posted the story on Reddit. "My influencer sister asked me to get an abortion so I wouldn't overshadow her wedding." The post blew up overnight. Thousands of upvotes, over 5,000 comments, most of them shocked, outraged, or just in disbelief that someone could even think that way. People were dissecting, discussing, and sharing it everywhere. The next morning, Lana called me, not to apologize, but to scream into the phone, accusing me of betraying her, of destroying the image she built over 3 years, and that brands are putting collaborations on hold because of the post. I stayed silent during the call. Then I said one sentence. "I didn't write that post, but if you think I did, maybe deep down you know who actually did something wrong." I hung up, not relieved, but not hurting like before. Maybe the pain had passed, and all that remained was a cold, heavy disappointment. She wasn't sorry. She was just mad she got exposed. I thought it would stop with social media, but drama never knows when to quit. Just days after the Reddit post, it spread beyond our circles. One of Lana's brand partners, a clean beauty company, quietly removed her name from their website. A gossip page that exposes influencers reposted Lana's old story, captioned, "Someone should remind her that being a decent human is also a good content concept." The comments were a nightmare for Lana. Floods of people calling to cancel her, tagging sponsors, and demanding they cut ties. I still hadn't said anything to our parents, partly because I didn't know where to begin, partly because I was too drained to explain. But in the end, it wasn't me who brought everything to light. It was Kyle. Kyle, Lana's fiancé, called me one afternoon while Mark and I were folding baby clothes. His voice was calm, almost unnervingly so. "Hey, Rachel, can I ask you something?" I paused. I'd never had a real one-on-one conversation with Kyle, beyond casual hellos at family events. "Lana says you made it all up, that you're jealous and trying to ruin the wedding, but I don't really believe her. I need to hear it from you." I told him everything, calmly. No embellishment. I didn't need to dramatize anything. The truth was painful enough. I just told it like it was. Kyle was silent for a long time. Then he sighed, sounding tired. "She told me you two had a little disagreement over a party dress." His voice dropped. "But this isn't about a dress. This is about character." After that call, I knew nothing would ever be the same. A few days later, my mom called, her voice stern. "What did you say to Kyle?" I tried to stay calm, but she immediately turned on me. "You know how sensitive she is about being on camera. Why would you make things harder for your sister? She lives for her image, and you're pregnant." I said only one thing. "I'm pregnant, Mom. I'm not killing my baby just to make my sister look better on camera." And then I hung up. That night, Mark held me tightly. He didn't say a word, just gently stroked my hair as I cried into his shoulder. I cried for the little sister who had long since disappeared. I cried for a family I no longer recognized. And I cried because I knew this drama was only beginning. As Lana began to lose control of the narrative online, she reacted exactly how I expected, by playing the victim. She posted a TikTok in her usual "get ready with me" style, except her voice was shaky, her eyes glassy, mascara smudged down her cheeks. "Hey everyone, someone really close to me made up lies, just to ruin the wedding I've dreamed of my whole life," she said, her voice trembling as she dabbed foundation onto her face. "They don't understand how stressful it is being an influencer. I just asked them to maybe consider postponing a few little things, and now everyone's turned on me." The video trended within hours, but instead of sympathy, it made things worse. Former followers of Lana started clapping back. They brought up old stories, how she once shaded a friend online, demanded someone take down wedding photos for clashing with her outfit concept, or forced a close friend to cancel a birthday party that conflicted with her filming schedule. A fact-checking fan page even compiled old clips and captions, including one where Lana allegedly asked a stylist to Photoshop a baby out of a family holiday photo last year. The deeper people dug, the more skeletons came out. Things that once sounded like baseless gossip now had receipts, Lana's own words, clips, and posts. And when a former close friend came forward claiming Lana had pressured her to get an abortion during college to avoid ruining her senior fashion project, the wave of backlash finally swept her away. A major brand posted an Instagram story announcing the termination of their partnership with Lana. Then 2 more beauty brands followed. A detox drink company and the wedding florist sponsor also cut ties, citing misaligned values. I started getting messages from family. "Did you really write that post? Why did you let this go so far? Lana's being destroyed." I didn't respond, because the truth was, I didn't need to do anything. Lana had done it all herself. Kyle remained silent. I knew he was thinking. And Lana began spiraling. She deleted dozens of Instagram posts, unfollowed brands she used to work with, and started posting cryptic quotes like, "If they don't stand by you at your worst, they don't deserve you at your best." But this time, no one clapped. No words of comfort, no sad emojis. Just a wall of silence, and a shame that couldn't be edited or filtered away. After the online storm, I still hadn't heard from Kyle. Lana kept performing, crying on Instagram, trying to rewrite the narrative to paint herself as the wounded one. But to anyone with eyes, ears, and a shred of sense, the real victim was clear. Then, one Thursday afternoon, Mark got a message from Kyle. "Can we meet for a bit? Nothing about Lana. I just need to talk to someone normal." They met at a small coffee shop near Kyle's hospital. Mark told me Kyle looked worn down, like he'd just come out of a long illness. His shirt was wrinkled, eyes ringed with fatigue. He sat there gripping his coffee cup like it was anchoring him to reality. "I used to think Lana was just a little self-centered," Kyle said slowly. "We met back when she only had a few thousand followers. She was sweet, full of energy. But the closer we got to the wedding, the more I realized I don't even know who she is anymore." Mark stayed quiet, letting him speak. "At first, I thought maybe your sister misunderstood something," Kyle continued. "But now, everything lines up, not just the abortion thing. It's how she reacted. She's not sorry for hurting people. She's just mad she got exposed." Kyle confessed he had planned the proposal for a full year, booked the vineyard, picked a meaningful date, hired the film crew thinking it would be a treasured memory. But he didn't realize the woman he loved saw love as a live stream event, where engagement and sponsorships mattered more than emotions. He said Lana had grown increasingly controlling. She wanted to know his daily schedule, demanded his phone password, made him unfollow female coworkers, all in the name of preserving their perfect couple image. "I'm not sure I want to marry her anymore," Kyle admitted, eyes distant. "I haven't said it out loud yet, but if I have to live a lie forever, I'd rather cancel the wedding." That night, Mark told me everything over dinner. I didn't feel happy. I didn't feel vindicated. I just felt sad. Sad that it took this long for Kyle to see who Lana really was. Sad that something as sacred as marriage had turned into a marketing campaign. But above all, I felt relieved, because Kyle was finally waking up. Maybe everything wasn't completely destroyed yet, but the fairy tale wedding facade Lana had built had cracked, and nothing could patch it back together. After that conversation with Kyle, Mark and I agreed it was time to speak to the family. Not to escalate the drama, but to end the silence Lana was using to manipulate everyone. I called my mom, sitting up straight on the couch, bracing myself for a difficult conversation. She picked up immediately, her voice already laced with suspicion. "Rachel, what did you say to Kyle that made him delay the wedding?" I bit my lip and took a deep breath. "I just told him the truth." There was silence on the other end, followed by a soft, bitter chuckle. "The truth, huh? You always think you're right. But did you ever stop to think about how your sister feels? She's being attacked from all sides online. Her wedding's falling apart. Her career's affected, all because of your so-called truth." I closed my eyes, forcing my voice to stay calm. "Did you know she asked me to get an abortion?" Silence. "Lana's not just insensitive, Mom. She's toxic. I didn't go online and drag her name through the mud, but she went on video saying I'm selfish, saying my pregnancy is ruining her life. She's acting like the world owes her a perfect wedding." My mom said nothing, but I knew, even if she didn't admit it, she understood. What shocked me more wasn't her reaction, but the messages that came afterward from other relatives. My aunt, my mom's older sister, sent me a voice message. "Rachel, I heard about everything, and you're not the first." She told me that a few years ago, Lana asked a pregnant cousin, Naomi, not to attend a friend's wedding because her baby bump didn't match the aesthetic. Naomi cried for days, but never told anyone, too afraid of stirring up family tension. Another younger cousin messaged, "Thank you for speaking up. She once told me I couldn't go public with my boyfriend because he didn't fit the bestie group brand she was curating." That's when I realized I wasn't the first victim. I was just the first one who didn't stay silent. And maybe that's why people finally started talking. The truth began surfacing like bubbles underwater, stories once buried now rising with startling clarity. The saddest part? The one person still refusing to look in the mirror was Lana herself. Lana always thought she could control everything. In her mind, if the filter was right, the caption touching enough, the lighting on point, any mess could be rebranded into a tear-jerking narrative. But this time, no one cried for her, and there was no preset strong enough to blur out the truth. As brands continued to publicly pause partnerships, Lana switched strategies. She began posting healing journey videos, complete with sad piano music, flickering candles, and her saying, Sometimes the ones closest to us hurt us the most. She pretended to meditate, read self-help books, let go of drama to focus on inner peace, then ended the video with an affiliate link to a discounted yoga mat. But the internet wasn't so easily manipulated anymore. Former loyal fans now mocked her. Letting go of negativity with a 15% discount code, read one comment with over 12,000 likes. "Lana needs therapy, not more followers," someone else wrote. The more she tried to salvage her image, the more she became a punchline. Kyle stayed completely silent. He didn't post, didn't defend, didn't take sides, but that silence spoke louder than anything else. Then, a week before the wedding, Lana posted a photo of a bridal bouquet with the caption, "Whether people stay or leave, I'll still love myself the most." The comments were half-hearted attempts at support from the last few friends she had left. "Stay strong, girl. You deserve a happy ending." But I knew, and maybe deep down, so did Lana, that it was over. That night, Kyle sent me a single message. "Thank you for not staying silent like everyone else." I didn't reply. I didn't need to. Word spread quickly. Kyle had moved out of their apartment, took his luggage, canceled the hotel suite for the wedding, and told the wedding planner, "Services are no longer needed." Lana later posted a short video to her story, only 7 seconds long, but enough to leave viewers breathless. She sat at her vanity, eyes swollen, staring directly into the camera, her voice hoarse. "Everyone's left me." No caption, no music, no promo code. For the first time, Lana wasn't performing, and for the first time, I saw her truly break, not over a wedding, not over lost followers, but because her own shadow had long since consumed whatever was real inside her. Lana's wedding didn't happen. No live stream, no couture dress, no first look video at golden hour. All that remained was a short Instagram post. "Due to personal reasons, the event is postponed indefinitely." She didn't tag Kyle, she didn't explain, and for the first time in years, Lana's account went silent. No background music, no laughter, no carefully contoured smiles next to pink cocktails. Just a hollow stillness. I didn't feel joy. Honestly, I felt relieved, but not vindicated. Because at the end of the day, she's still my sister. And part of me still hurts when I think of the little girl who used to chase after me in the yard, crying after a fall, the same little sister who used to tuck handwritten notes under my pillow after I fought with our parents. But that same little girl, she grew up in a virtual world where every glance, every heart reaction mattered more than reality. And she traded it all, family, love, even her integrity, just to cling to a fleeting illusion called the perfect image. I kept my distance. No calls, no texts. My mom did call me again after everything, her voice lower than usual. I think maybe I spoiled her too much. I didn't answer, not out of anger, but because sometimes silence is the clearest response. Mark, meanwhile, stayed by my side, never missing a single prenatal appointment. He rearranged his schedule, carved out moments to take me on walks, play music for the baby, read to my belly, all the small things that felt unbelievably warm and grounding. In the middle of the chaos, I felt more at peace than ever. 8 weeks later, I gave birth to a beautiful baby boy. We named him Elijah, meaning, "My God is my strength." And he truly is, the light in the storm, the reason I stayed grounded while everything else around me fell apart. I didn't invite Lana to the hospital. She sent one message: "Congratulations." I don't know what else to say. I didn't reply, not out of bitterness, but because some cracks, once deep enough, shouldn't be patched with too late apologies. Maybe one day she'll truly change. Who knows? But until that day comes, I'll keep my son far from the drama and far from anyone whose love always comes with conditions.